How y'all doing? It's a quiet day up in the crib. I'm just sitting back here, just chilling, and doing the usual. But peep Smitty, I'm just sitting back here, just watching videos, looking at people, going outside, seeing how the world is today, and it's just like one of them sad days. It's normal. Uh, every time you turn around, you see people arguing, fighting, and it's just hectic about what's going on. Now, today's video is called "The Earth Reliving the World of Cain and Abel," right? And I want to do a couple of videos on this, you know what I'm saying, just to expound on what's going on in the world today. Um, Job 9:24 said, "The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?" Right? So the thing is, why this is a second part of Cain and Abel, because of the fact is it's like there's too much killings going on in this world. And people that claim to be in the truth, that say they know God, now they understanding who they are and knowing what they are supposed to do, are not actually doing what God is telling them to do. So the reason why it's found on Cain and Abel is too many killings around the world that's going on. And God says everything repeats itself. So when you read Genesis 6, God told you that he was going to destroy the world. Genesis 6:5 said, "And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually." You see what I'm saying? So the Most High telling you, said, due to the fact that he's seen all this stuff going on, this is why God said there was a lot of violence in the earth and what was going on, that God said he was going to destroy the world. And a lot of people going to deny it and walk away from it, and they don't want to listen to it. But understand this, right? What if it became a killing that was in your household? That it was your family member that got killed, or even you? What would be the thought of sitting back listening and paying attention to the word of God and saying, I need to get my life right. I need to change. I need to start being obedient to God. And see, I know a lot of people going to turn away from this video because the fact is that there's so much corruption in the world. Like I said, God is giving the earth into men's hand where they are corrupting it. So what I wanted to do is show scriptures according to pride. And God tell you that he was doing away with pride. So with all these people up in this world that have pride in their heart, that feel as though that no one could tell them nothing, to the point is that when things go wrong in their family, they the one that has to seek justice, not God. But God's supposed to be our buckler and our shield, that he's supposed to protect us and bring judgment. But our people will take justice in their own hand and kill for the relief and comfort and say that now, you know what I'm saying, an eye for an eye, two for a two. You see what I'm saying? So when you retaliate on somebody else, you bring in more evil because it's constantly being repeated, going back and forth, right? So we know the first killing came from Cain, who killed Abel. And if you watch a lot of the news, a lot of these gang bangers are killing innocent bystanders that have nothing to do with gang beef, gang rivalry, whatever you want to call it. You see what I'm saying? This is the stuff that people is witnessing now today. It's become normal to them to say that, you know what I'm saying, everybody now, you got to get a gun in order to protect yourself. But that's just what God said. They give them up to the imagination of their heart because say when he called, nobody didn't answer. So if you believe that you have to get a gun in order to protect your family or your household, you're going to be sadly mistaken because somebody going to end up getting killed or getting hurt. So I want to read about the first killing, about Cain who killed Abel, right? And I'm going to read this what happened up in the last video. It said, and the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou wroth, and why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted, and if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. And Cain talked with Abel and his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the fields that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him. This was the first killing. Right. So we know through Ecclesiastes 1 that everything repeats itself. What God said. We recognizing this is going to happen from the beginning. We right back at the start from when Cain killed Abel. Then it was so much violence in the world in Genesis 6, right? And we're going to read that, right? And God saw that the wickedness of men was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented the Lord that he had made men on the earth, and it grieved him in his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy men whom I have created from the face of the earth, both men and beasts, and the creeping things and the fowls of the air, for it repented me that I have made them. God is killing men and animals, right? This is what God is saying what he's going to do. When you look around in your neighborhood and in your community, going outside, do you fear and worry that a stray bullet will one day hit you? Will you be spared by God from that bullet? Would that be a wake-up call to you? Or will you just eventually just die? Because see, a lot of people not getting it. And I understand that right now we reliving the Cain and Abel moment. Brothers fighting against brothers. Not only the Cain and Abel moment, but the time when God made the covenant with Israel in Mount Sinai. And he told them all the curses that was going to come upon them if they go against his commandments. So last video I read Deuteronomy 28, 54 through 56. And he even told you that the tender eye that is delicate among you, that he shall have an evil eye toward his brother and his wife and his children. And then he said that his enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates. And then it talks about the woman whose eye is tender and delicate among you, that she will have an evil eye toward her husband and her children. So with all this stuff that's going on, for you atheists who believe that the Bible is not real, that it's man-made written, look and see what's going on now and tell me, is there not a God? Look and tell me that God do not exist. God calls you a fool. But I'm finna read scriptures about according to how the world is given over to the imagination of their own heart. Because if you look at YouTube, everybody is making videos according to what they want to make, their content, what they want their video to be about, how it's going to capture the public's eye, where they're going to get many views, subscribers, so people that are going to make them money just for making video content on social media. Well, let's go to Genesis 8:21. It said, and the Most High smelled the sweet savor, and the Most High said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground anymore for man's sake, for the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I again smite anymore everything living as I have done. This was a promise that God made, right? Deuteronomy 29, verse 19. And it come to pass when he heareth the words of this curse, that he blessed himself in his heart, saying, I shall have peace, though I walk in the imagination of my heart, to add drunkenness to thirst. A lot of people really believe that they got peace going on in this world, even though they living in the captivity of their enemy. And how can you have peace going against the laws of God when he said his covenant was a covenant of peace? If you was obedient to the covenant and do God's commandment, that God will give you rest. Because he tell you that nations will no more no war. There will be peace throughout the whole entire earth. Deuteronomy 31, verse 21, and it shall come to pass when many evils and troubles are befallen them, that this song shall testify against them as a witness, for it shall not be forgotten out of the mouth of their seed. For I know their imagination which they go about even now, before I brought them into the land which I swear. Now this is what's going on right now. Now this is a call. Because God said again, and it shall come to pass when many evils and troubles are befalling them, that this song shall testify against them as a witness, for it shall not be forgotten out of the mouths of their seed. For I know their imagination which they go about even now, before I brought them into the land which I swear. You got the government forcing people to wear masks, even if it's not the government, it's companies that's mandating mask wearing. Not only the companies, but certain states and mayors of cities. You got Biden, who want to mandate the vaccines with certain groups, whether it be the military or the physicians, the hospitals. telling them that they have to be vaccinated. And this way, God tells you that your enemies shall distress you in all our gates, because this is going on in the whole entire world. So we see what's going on right now, but a lot of people, they just don't care. Even these pale face, they starting to have a problem with it. Because the fact is, they say, who is you to tell me what I can and can't do? You not God. They know that the mayors and governors is not God. And they're starting to fight against their own people because of the fact is that they're mandating mask wearing and vaccines on the people. So they in for a rude awakening. First Chronicles 29 at verse 18. O Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and of Israel, our fathers, keep this forever in the imagination of the thoughts of the hearts of thy people, and prepare their hearts unto thee. Jeremiah 3, verse 17. At that time they shall call Jerusalem the throne of the Most High, and all the nations shall be gathered unto it. To the name of the Most High, to Jerusalem, neither shall they walk any more after the imagination of their evil heart. So, right now, we have the government who's implementing vaccines, mask wear. And if you notice, there's a lot of things going on with technology, was people putting in their home, and these people are infiltrating conversations that's going on in people's home. I admit I got a lot of them. But whatever they doing, God said it ain't gonna prevail. So the pale face people think that their government, this new world order, is what gonna be a monument, that they gonna be able to control the people in the world all through the hemisphere. So I think it's Jeremiah 29, verse 11. And I want to just see what God says that. Where is verse 11? No, not that one. Check this out. Psalms 9 and 19. Arise, O Lord, let not man prevail. Let the heathen be judged in thy sight. Understand, what men think they doing is going to win over the world and going to be able to subdue the world, which is going to happen. God's not going to let it happen. The Lord shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. He shall cry, ye roar, he shall prevail against his enemy. So these palefaces really feel and think that they what they doing is going to be able to subdue the earth, because it's going on in every country where people is being forced to be vaccinated. Yeah. Jeremiah 7 verse 24, but they hearken not nor incline their ears, but walk in the counsels and in the imagination of their evil hearts, and went backward and not forward. Jeremiah 9 verse 9 verse 14. But how walk after the imagination of their own hearts and after Baalim, which their fathers taught them. Everybody is doing something what they think is right. Women think it's all right to abort children. Men think it's all right to retaliate and kill their own people. The government feels that it's all right to suppress the world. Women or wives want to be in control of their husbands. This is everything what God's saying that is that our people really think and feel what's deep in their heart, that they doing is actually right, but it is not. What was the judgment that God gave to the woman? He said, and to the woman, I will greatly multiply thy sorrows and thy conception, and she shall bear children, and her desire shall be to her husband, and he shall rule over thee. That was a judgment from God. How can women actually think and feel as though they can control their husband and to doing what it is that they want them to do? That ain't gonna happen. I mean, God allowed that to happen for the moment, but see, you got to understand this, right? We in the last days. Right now, we in judgment. Everything that happened during the time of Seth, Cain, and Abel, throughout the testimony what God recorded in this book, it's repeating itself all over again. And which people don't care or have no understanding of what's going on. Pride is being lifted up. If it ain't amongst individuals, it's amongst nations, it's amongst tribes, and in our case, it's amongst the gangs. Now, I want to read to you about pride, because God tell you He gonna do away with pride. Right? And how God do away with pride, He let the evil slay the wicked. Understand this. As God used you for evil, God is going to kill you. Leviticus 26 verse 19. And I will break the pride of your power, and I will make your heaven as iron and your earth as brass. This is what God said He's going to do. 1 Samuel 17 verse 28. And Eliab, his eldest brother, heard when he spake unto the men, and Eliab's anger was kindled against David. And he said, why camest thou down hither, and with whom hast thou left those few sheep in the wilderness? I know thy pride and the naughtiness of thy heart, for thou art come down that thou mightest see the battle. When God bring you down, you going to sit back and think about all the wrongdoing that you done. And you either going to repent from it or it's going to destroy you. Because like God says, karma is coming back. Exodus 21 verse 24, what God says according to the law. Exodus 21 verse 24. It says, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burning for burnings, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. And this Exodus 21, verse 24 and 25. So understand everything that the pale face that done to us is coming back to you. This is a law that you never knew about, that you wrote, that you're going to have to answer for what you did to God's people. Watch this in Numbers 35, verse 33. Numbers 35, verse 33. God says, people going to have to be accountable for what they did to our ancestors. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that sheddeth. So you paleface that killed our ancestors, our people, understand everything that you did to us is coming back to you. Jeremiah 16, verse 18. God will let you know. This is all evil in the world. And then this is justice being rectified. Jeremiah 16, verse 18. And first I will recompense their iniquity and their sins double, because they have defiled my land. They have filled my inheritance with the carcasses of their detestable and abominable things. God said, reward them back double. We do got a thing about Cain and Abel. Right now, what we dealing with is killing. We dealing with pride. People's thoughts and their own belief process of what they think and feel. And God is going to let them destroy each other. And then he going to come in and clear up everything. Right? So America has the pride that they are superior to all nations. And these paleface believe that they are superior to us. Us being the people of God who chose us. What makes you think that you are superior to the people of God? And he gave the laws to us. And it was due to our ancestors' disobedience. Is why we put in this condition. Is why you ruling over us. Is why you killing our people. Why you're raping our women. Why you throwing our men in jail. This was everything that was a curse that came upon our people God allowed you to do these things. But there are consequences for people who believe that they have pride. The same way that America's government is behaving is the same way God brought down Nimrod. You read Genesis 10, and you understand that these people built a temple high, is what he said, to the heavens, and thought they was going to overcome God. And America is doing the same thing. Look how much technology is being introduced to the people in the world. All the trade agreements. They go get what they say material and fashion it to the point is what we got right here, echo in the house. People was listening to our conversations, wondering and being a suspect of what it is that we actually thinking and doing, trying to suppress our minds. YouTube is technological. Same thing. People's mind is not focused on the word of God or returning to God. People's mind is focused on making videos to make money to be able to live the lavish life. I don't see damn near every couple's video where couples play pranks on one another. There's cooking shows. Then they go to the point is they want from cooking shows to vacations. You know what I'm saying? They doing it all. They done got show checks of how much money they done made with YouTube. People not even paying attention to the corruption, what's going on. You got to actually disrespect your parents in order to make videos, to make money on YouTube. What is the law? It's to honor your father and your mother, that thy days may be long upon the land in which the Most High thy God giveth you. Leviticus 19, verse 32. The law tells us about respecting our elders. Thou shalt rise up before the hoary head and honor the face of the old man and fear thy God. I am the Lord. Understand what YouTube is doing. Everybody is going against the laws of God. Isaiah 24, verse 1. Thus saith the Lord, he make the earth empty, he maketh it waste, and he turn it upside down, and he scattered the inhabitants thereof. God has scattered our people from the four corners of the earth. Everything that's upside down, meaning that everything that God has established in his covenant, the earth goes against it. There's men turning out to be women, women turning out to be men. Goes against the laws of God. Leviticus 20, verse 13. Thou shalt not sleep with men as men lay with women. And these people, America approves of gay marriages. Leviticus 20, verse 13. If a man also lie with men as he lied with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. they shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. God is letting everything be played out to the point is that this world is finna come to an end. This world is finna be reestablished with the laws of God. And any nation that refuse to live according to the laws of God will be killed. I want to read in the book of Psalms. It says, Psalms 10 and 2. The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. Okay, let me read that again. Psalms 10 and 2. The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. Again, the government is suppressing the poor people into doing what it is that the government is forcing the people to do. Same thing we talking about these vaccines and these masks wear. Psalms 10 and 4. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts. What do Congress do? They sit down and they congregate amongst one another to think of laws that they can enforce on the people, and the people is to live according to the laws that they implemented. Watch this in Isaiah 10. This tell you what your government has done to our people about Jim Crow. Remember Jim Crow? Black people wasn't able to use the same washroom as whites. They wasn't able to drink from the same water fountain. Our people was constantly being hanged and burnt alive. People is not understanding what's going on today. God said, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and take away the rights from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And what will ye do in the day of visitation, and in the desolation which shall come from far? Because God is coming. To whom will ye flee for help? And where will ye leave your glory? So everything that America has done to our people, God's telling them. He said, when they come from far, he said, to whom will ye flee? Where will ye go? And where will ye leave your glory? Your glory is going to go with you in the dust of the ground, where you will no longer be remembered or thought of. You will be forgotten about, just like our nation was forgotten about. This is just like nerve wracking. Psalms 31, verse 20, thou shalt hide them in the secrets of thy presence from the pride of men. Thou shalt keep them secretly in the pavilion from the strife of tongue. And this is God protecting his people. It's hiding them from his enemy. God is our buckler and our shield and our protector. Understand that. Not Jesus. Psalms 59, verse 12. For the sins of their mouth and the words of their lips, let them even be taken in their pride, and for cursing, lying which they speak. Because God lets you know that this world is built on lies. Psalm 73, verse 6. Therefore, pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment. Everything that's going on in this world, gangs, rivalry, war against nations, people fighting against one another. It's all pride. But I want to come to the one in Proverbs. It said right here, Proverbs 16:18. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before fall. Your pride is going to get you killed. This is what God is saying. Your pride is going to get you killed. Better it is to be of a humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. Proverbs 29, verse 23. A man's pride shall bring him low, but honor shall uphold the humble in spirit. America got a choice. Whatever you decide from here on, judgment is going out right now. Your behavior and your action plays an important role of how God is going to judge you according to his laws. Brothers and sisters who are God's people and who is being wicked to the point is that they're using people's sanctity, their mindset to take advantage of them. You got a judgment just as well. We all do. But people don't understand what's going to happen to these camps. IUIC, AOI, Lions Den, who else? Sakari, GMS, Chicago Tribe and the Refined, every last camp, GOCC, I will never forget them. Y'all got a calling on the things that what you're doing to your own people to go against the laws of God. You are going to pay. We all got a judgment. We all got a judgment. And until we get right with God, what old boy Sugar Daddy used to say up on Good Time, we in trouble. We in trouble. And the thing is, everything that you think of to come against God, to oppress your own people, is going to hurt you in the end. Because God gonna make us pay for the decisions that we done made. The way we done affected each other, the traumatization about how we look at people, or what they done did to their own people, what the enemy has done to God's people, or what we done to our own people. We all are gonna pay for what we thought was right. And until we come back to the laws of God, it's going to be a serious situation. But right now, Cain and Abel, there's too much killing in this world right now. And a lot of innocent people is being killed. The thing is God's people being killed by God's own people. The gangs that's killing innocent bystanders, well, that's something serious. For the pale face that's killing our people, that's something serious. Anything we do that goes against God is serious. And you're going to find out majority of the laws that we went against, the judgment is death. So, hey, we got to pay the piper. Like I said, God is, we gonna see God. Even after we dead and gone, it ain't over from there. God says we're gonna be tortured. Isaiah 66 and 24. I'm pretty sure a lot of people, if you forget this scripture, if God deem you guilty, wrong for the things that you did, after you die, you are going to suffer. And he talking about eternal. Right? Isaiah 66 verse 24. He said, they shall go forth and look upon the carcass of the men that have transgressed against me, for their worms shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be an abhorrent unto all flesh. Your soul is going to burn eternal. Well, you can ignore it right now all you want to, but the pride and the imagination of people's heart, what they're doing right now, hey, that's you, your choice, your life, your decision. I pray to God that I get my life right, still trying to learn the laws of God and follow them. I pray that in the day when God judged this world, praying that he have mercy on me. If it's something that I did wrong, I know I got to correct it. If it be too late, hey, I brought it on myself. A lot of you brothers and sisters don't want to live and learn from your mistakes. It is what it is. to what David said to the Most High, Selah. Man, watch this video. Tell me what you think about it. And hey, learn from it. Talk to you then.